I know what you're thinking. It's not the Crash Bandicoot GBA games. That's the next episode, I promise you. But today, I want to talk about something a little different. Dr. Seuss is one of the most critically acclaimed children's authors, and he's most well known today. He created such timeless classics as Cat in the Hat, The Grinch, and a lot of others. Many people grew up with Dr. Seuss and it's pretty much their childhood. But did you know that there was actually a whole bunch of Dr. Seuss games? I've already talked about The Grinch on PS1. So let's go back to another PS1, The Cat in the Hat. The title screen looks good. We get a blinking eye view of Cat in the Hat. It looks like the color book version of Cat in the Hat, you know, the ones in the original book. And the start button is just bouncing up and down. Pretty cool, if you must say. Then we get more loading. Unfortunately, my emulator couldn't get any music, but if it did, it'd probably grate on your nerves. It probably wouldn't. So let's pick a file. Wait, I forgot to talk about the games modes we have. We have a new game, arcade and puzzle. And let's take a look at the games. I'm going to delete my file as I played this before I reviewed, so let's just delete it. Then we go to the main entry screen, and then we get more saving. Yep. More saving. And then we get to the name entry screen. Finally. Christ. So, let's just put my name in, and I'm going to put James, as that is my name. Big coincidence. But, actually, I like how the name selection screen is easy. You scroll through the letters. Let's take a look at the story. It's like the cutout version from the book. In fact, the whole game is like the book. You have Sally and the boy. They never really explain who the boy's name is. And you also have the fish. And it's basically like you're reading the book. How awesome is that? Level 1. And you see Cat in the Hat giving you the tip hat. Oh, what a gentleman. Turns out you have to find objects. So I'm going to assume, yep, this game is a puzzle game. I never would have guessed. You're basically playing as the Cat in the Hat, going around grabbing stuff. And there's a certain checklist of items that you have to get. Some of these items can be easy, like you have to pick up a red fan. But here's the thing. They don't actually tell you what you're supposed to do. And also, there's a time that you also have to collect it. Well, it's not necessarily a time limit, it's going up. But seriously, it's basically recording the time of how long you can haul your ass and get all the items. Seriously, I mean, was this really necessary? I mean, come on. So, I'm looking around, looking for the items I need. Do I need the kite? No. Some items are self-explanatory, such as you need to open a window to get the rake. Others can be really, really hard to find. Like, look, open the window, get the rake. And look, it shows up on the checklist. Great. I like puzzle games, but not like this. With the title screen and the opening story looking really, really good, the game itself is, okay. It's a puzzle game which is not that bad, but with the PS1 controls, especially since it came out in 2003, it didn't utilize the DualShock very well. You mainly focus on the D-pad going up and across and not down, so what's the point? If you are lost, you can talk to the fish, which can save your game and give you advice. Here you can get advice on what the items you have to do. So I'm going to ask how to get the red fan. The red fan is hung on the wall. If you use your umbrella, you don't need to be tall. Okay. It's speaking in rhyme. Classic Dr. Seuss. Okay, I'm using it on my umbrella, but nothing works. So I'm assuming I have to pick up there. No? What do I do? No, seriously, what do I do? This is why a puzzle game is a puzzle game. But you know what? I dare to say they missed the opportunity to make this a kids' reading game. But all in all, this game is meh. All in all, I found this one really hard to judge and critique, as it's pretty basic. So I guess I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It's not that... Actually, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's not. Because it's actually not that bad. Was it great? But it's not that bad either. Anyway, let's move on to another one. Did you know that there was actually a remake, a live-action remake of The Cat in the Hat? No, I'm not kidding. The Cat in the Hat actually got a live-action movie. Now, I don't know if he actually got a movie in the olden times, or when the book was made, clearly. But this is the live action Cat in the Hat is what I best know from my childhood. It stars Dakota Fanning, Spencer. I don't know his last name. If you know the guy who plays Conrad, leave him in the comments down below. And Mike Myers is Cat in the Hat. Yep, the guy who bought you, Guru Picker from The Love Guru, Fat Bastard, Dr. Evil, and Austin Powers from Austin Powers, and did the voice of Shrek. Now he's playing the Cat in the Hat. But it was actually on Game Boy Advance. The console games are pretty much the same, so except the Game Boy Advance is a lot different, but pretty much one counts for the other. So if you played it, good for you. This is the version of the Cat in the Hat game that I can get my hands on. A running theme with the Cat in the Hat is that it also has a pretty good title screen in my opinion. But it looks like a promotional poster for the movie. I like how this press start button just sparkles. Then you get a picture of the SLOW. Unused. Okay. It's actually the story, but we actually have the characters and cutscenes from the movie. Well, I say that very loosely, because they're just still images! I mean, God. So the kids are bored as regular, and they're under the watchful eye of Mrs. Kwan. The most racist name in the history. Oh, God! Is that Mike Myers? He looks terrifying! And, yep, the kids look bored out of their minds. This is hard to be unconvincing. Then we get more nightmare fuel, and then it's back to more annoying. Seriously, why couldn't they just spice up the pictures? Couldn't they actually show the kids screaming? There's a giant freaking cat in their face. Don't you think that seems a little bit creepy? Then we get a picture of the box. Cats with hats only. Okay. And of course, made in the Philippines. Obviously. Duh. And then we get Conrad trying to close the box while constipated. And the house has gone to crap. So, now we're in the sort of hub world, I guess. And then we move on to the level select screen with the condiments. Oh, bacon. Seriously, it's bacon. What do I do? Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Okay, I guess I'll go in this. I guess this one is open. This game is already a doozy. How can you take a Mike Myers character of Cat in the Hat and make him look terrifying? And I haven't even started to talk about the gameplay. And has anyone noticed that they use the same image? When the kids scream in terror, they're just like, that. Yeah. That's totally the face I'd see if I see a giant cat. When you see a giant cat, you scream in terror! The gameplay itself is just a side-scroller, where you're playing as Cat in the Hat in the world of ice cream, and you make bubbles with your fingers. I don't want to know what am I seeing here? Seriously, what is this? Honestly, God, man, I don't know. Your hat is your health meter, and you have to collect ice cream and jump on burgers. It's Foodland. What do you expect? You also have to go on wind currents, and when you do, you propel into the air. Woo! And you're fighting Stegosaurus. What kind of messed up world is this? And also, you can grab this. Is that supposed to be the cat's umbrella? You can do the ground pound anyway, so what's the point? Well, I have 3 words for this game. What the F is this? Actually, that's a sentence, but still 3 words, main words. What the F? What? Just what the hell? What the hell is this? Seriously? This is probably the weirdest game I've ever seen. So, scoring this game is going to be a tough one. I can't give it a 5 because I actually found enjoyment. But I can't give it a 7. I'll go with 6. It gets a 6 out of 10. I'm sure the console version will vary. Now, let's talk about the Grinch. Yes, I know I already did the Grinch on PS1, but there was a Grinch game on the DS as well. So, let's check it out. The title screen looks pretty good. This game is actually based on the 1960s short. instead of the 2000 remake. Mildly unpleasant, rather nasty, or question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm guessing that's the difficulty. I'll go with mildly unpleasant. Then we get the story. Okay, yeah, alright. Yep. Then we get to select the levels. Oh, it's a stealth game, similar to Metal Gear Solid, where you play as the Grinch, sneaking into houses, and trying to snag anything Christmas. You also got to be watchful out for the Who's, as if you get seen by one of them, you get hit. And yes, even snoring. But if you hit one of the snoring Who's, you have to play a minigame where you have to touch the touchscreen and dodge the Who's. Seriously. And yeah, it's pretty sneaky, but I actually like this concept. You play as a Grinch, hiding away from the Who's and trying not to get seen. It's actually pretty cool, but only if but you know what else is like this? Yep. This game is basically a pedophile in the what the figgy pudding degree. And, seriously, this is actually really fun. It's not bad, but it is pretty good. It does feel like an arcade game, but in actuality, this is what a Grinch game should be. Sneaking around the Whoville, snagging everything that there is to Christmas, and causing havoc. Seriously. And the Who's are just greatly animated. Except they're not. They look like actual human beings, not Who's. But with the Grinch on PS1, they actually look like Who's. Here, they look like average people. What's also cool is that you have a little bar down there, and it gradually adds up the more presents you collect. This is how you have to collect the presents. You have to get your bag at least 100% full in order to move on to the next level. I actually kind of like this game. So, how would I judge it? Exactly. Ooh, that's going to be a tricky one. But I think I come up with a verdict. So, let's check the verdict. I do have to say that the Who's don't look anything like Who's. They look like actual people. Seriously, why couldn't they make them actual look like Who's? The Grinch looks like the Grinch, so there's like no excuse. There's no excuse not to make the Who's look like Who's. Okay, this guy kind of looks like a Who, but seriously, they look like actual human beings. When did Dr. Seuss include realism? Oh, there's why. No! Not at all. Also, the Grinch's sack is way too big for his head. Honestly, I like the fact that you have 3 lives, and if you get hit by the Who's 3 times, you fail and have to start again. And I like how you have a map, but it doesn't show anything of where it is, except it only shows the exits and entries and the stairs, which you're going to need in order to get around the house and snag everything that is involved with Christmas. I actually kind of like this, but look at this guy, he's like, up, and he's walking like, I think he's got problems. You can also use the stairs to dodge away from the Who's. Pretty cool if you ask me. I mean, it's not bad, but it is pretty good. Cool feature. This game gets a 7 out of 10. It's the best game we've seen so far. Now, let's take a look at a more obscure one. Green Eggs and Ham on the Game Boy Advance. The most stupid idea for a video game ever. Green Eggs and Ham is a great book, but it's nothing short than just Sam I Am pestering a guy. And then it goes on and 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 fucking on. So, how can you take all that and make it into a game? Well, the answer is that they did. And they messed it up. The title screen actually looks nice. We get the world whizzing by and then the title screen. Green Eggs and Ham, the most ridiculous concept for a game. Okay, at first glance, I thought this was going to be a rating of the game. Select the number of human players, select the number of CPU players. Okay, why is this necessary? Honestly. Okay, so I guess I'll go with 1, or what? And then I have to choose between a boy or a girl. Now, which one to choose? Gee, do I really have to choose? I don't want to get a lot of hate comments about what gender I pick. And I don't really feel comfortable disclosing that, and I really don't feel comfortable appointing that discrimination. What to pick? Well, if I must choose, I'll do the honorable way. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a ticker by the toe. Tits. Alright, choose a hat. Okay. I'll actually go for the dude just for testing purposes. So, you get to choose a hat? Why is this necessary? And then I have to put in my name. Jesus Christ. Okay, what was the point of the whole hat thing? What I do like is that you actually get a choice of upper and lowercase letters. And it's not actually that bad. It's not great, and you can even go back on a letter and fix it. Pretty cool if you ask me. But was there any reason for the computer players and hats? What was all that about? What the arse? It's a board game? What? Is this a party game or something? It's memory. It's memory! The entire game is memory. Then what was the point of the board? Why couldn't it just be, like memory games and stuff like that? So, yeah, I lost. Okay, it's Bobby's turn. What? Okay, so I get to my turn. What? Seriously? You have got to be kidding me! One match and that's it? Why? I mean, honestly, just a party game. It's a party game. I could sit here and be shovel shaded all day, but no one can tell me that this was an okay thing to do. Why? Why would you take green eggs and ham and make it about memory games? That has got to be the most stupid concept I've ever heard. Yep, this is just a bunch of memory games. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, so I got a bulldozer and I got a horse saddle. Someone give me a punch buggy in the comments. Okay, so no, you better not. Oh, Bobby won. Yay! Game score. Perfect. Wait, what's this? Do you want to save and quit your game? What? What? Is that it? Is that it? It's only 1 minute goddamn long! What is this, a joke? Ugh! This game, 3 out of 10. It's just that bad. Well, I don't get it. How can you make Dr. Seuss games? We had some good, we've had some bad, and some in the middle of the road. But how can you take Dr. Seuss's classic books and botch them? I mean, the Grinch is pretty good, and Cat in the Hat is... but you get my points. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And if this happens to be the first video you've seen by me, please do consider subscribing, because it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you are part of the notification squad, turn on bell notifications, turn on channel notifications. That way you'll be uploaded whenever I make a new video. See you guys. Peace.